We had some back and forth with the county in January, remember? We got a letter from Scott French, he's the liaison for this program. And he basically said, here are my questions. Is the board on board with this project? Have you spoken to the neighbors? Do you have a letter of support from your local planning commission and from the Central Park Planning Commission? I would think that they would want to see a letter from the impacted neighbors saying they're on board. And to me, he was very upfront about it. He said, these are the things that you need to have to keep your grant. It was very clear to me in that email you saw. Looking at the grant program, since I'm kind of familiar with it, because I've spent some time with the county, what they're really interested in doing is with their sidewalking and trails, and that's why the other project was interesting to them, is we had a local amendment, right, the Perkion Trail, and we were with that other project, connecting part of our community to that part of the township where people could use that amenity. And similarly, if you look at what's been done in other municipalities, they're using the trails and the sidewalks to connect to business areas so people can walk to stores and things like that. So I don't really see, they have their focus areas. If you look at the grant program, I don't really see how this connection, I'm not saying that it's not an important connection, but I don't see how this fits, aligns itself with what the county is looking for, above and on top of the things that I just mentioned in terms of what they want to see with their application. That's not to say I don't think we should aggressively go after other sources of funding or do this somehow on our own dime if it's possible to do it differently. I don't know. But I'm just trying to give you an honest answer based on what I've seen from the county and the things that they seem to be willing to go after. I spent some time talking. You may know that Schwenksville's gotten a lot of grant money in the last 5 years or so. And what are they doing and how are they going about it? I think that's important.
Given that we would be better off applying for one of these other grants you mentioned with a better chance. What do you think? You mentioned 3 or 4 different opportunities.
Of those, I would lean towards the multimodal, and I'm actually going to defer to Terry, because I know he's got some experience with multimodal grants.
That program is very competitive, so I can't offer an intelligent answer without knowing who we're up against. And we have been successful on 2 different occasions back in Lower Mayfield in securing grants for, in this case, bike paths, not sidewalks, but essentially the same thing. In one case, we laid out a bike path that connected a newly constructed township community center, connected a playground, and then went down a quarter of a mile and connected elementary school. So we had a very, how can I say, we checked all the boxes. There's a lot of synergy in that particular case. And we only made funding, but we were successful. Now, how this will play I don't know how competitive things are right now for that program. I think we have a chance, though. And what I think we have going for us is the fact that it's a $100,000 project. So that's the best I can handicap it at this point.
I'm going to make a couple of comments. You guys have not been knocking on the doors of residents that are really struggling with walking up and down these roads. And that's what's scary. And it's not just to get to the school bus. It's to get to the Goshen Park that we have on the other end of Goshen Road. It's to get around the community, to get from the west end It's dangerous. I encourage you, sit down on Goshen Road in your car and watch how fast people are driving up and down that road. If there is an opportunity to protect these kids, we should be doing it. And I encourage you to understand the importance of why I think this project in the right-of-way, which has had tremendous support from residents that live there, that have also signed a petition. And we've also been receiving letters from residents. They've continuously said, why isn't the township doing something about this? I'm going to read you a letter. And I have every right to read this letter because it's been asked to be a part of the minutes. Dear Mr. Frederick, I resided at 179 Goshen Road since April 2009. And over the past 10 years, my family has grown. I currently have 2 young children, ages 4 and 6. My daughter attends Schweinsville Elementary School. My daughter takes the bus to and from school from her bus stop at the intersection of Goshen Road and Gregory Road. Due to the lack of a sidewalk from the end of my group of townhomes to that intersection, my wife and I are forced to walk our daughter to and from the bus stop in the street. We walk on the grass when possible, but muddy conditions usually prevent that option. Anyone with common sense would agree that walking with a child on the street is dangerous, not only because children can be unpredictable, but also because drivers can be careless. I know this fact better than most, as I often observe careless driving in my work as a police officer. I also know that for my work, that when it comes to a vehicle striking a pedestrian, the results can be deadly. I do not know why sidewalks were not installed to the east of my group of townhouses when they were originally built, especially considering all other groups of townhomes in development have connected sidewalks. What I do know is that the installation of sidewalks at this time would significantly increase the safety of pedestrians on Goshen Road and prevent someone from being seriously injured or killed. Our neighborhood is made up of many families with young children, and it is imperative that public safety be a priority for our elected officials. I strenuously request that the township supervisors vote to approve and move forward with the Goshen Road sidewalk project. I appreciate your time, and I ask that this letter be read aloud for the record at the Board of Supervisors work session on Tuesday, February 26, 2019 at 7 p.m. Sincerely, Andrew J. Pachansky. And he's just one of many other residents that I've been speaking with over the past several months. With that comment, I'm going to make a motion that we do approve this resolution authorizing the 2040 county grant submission for this project.
Can I just make one statement? Chuck, I understand your passion. I do take exception, strong exception. I take strong exception to your characterization of the park board not being sensitive to the needs of public safety and the safety of the children. The issue is not, this project is not worthy. The project, well, that's what you were saying. You're being insensitive, but we don't understand.
I never once, I said I'm the individual that's the one that's knocking on the doors and talking to our residents in that community. I never once cited you, Pam.
Your wording indicated that we were insensitive and did not see it as an important project. Okay, fine.
I don't get misinformation.
I don't think I misread your intent. I just want to make it clear that our context with going forward with the 2040 grant on the sidewalk project is looking at the viability of the project against the requirements of the application and the requirements of the grant. And if you look at the requirements and you look at each of the projects in comparison, the sidewalk grant application has a very low likelihood of getting approved. It's not connecting the communities. You've made a connection within a community that will help. The likelihood of it being viable is very low, whereas the park project is very likely to go. There's no guarantee either one will get approved. And we're just looking at the appropriate use of the funds and where it's most likely to be successful to benefit this township. That is our only context with this. It has nothing to do with whether each project is worthy or more worthy. It's a matter of viability against the requirements of the application and likelihood that the grant will be awarded. And I'm sorry I got upset, but what you said really, I listened to you and it sounded like you were, putting us in a position where we were insensitive to the safety of our children in this township, and that is not true at all.
apologize.
Okay.
I think that's the
Thank you.
case. I did make a motion though, and I would like that to be on the table.
I just want to reiterate that I agree that this has an extremely low likelihood of success given the similarities to last year and given the fact that the county is going to want to see verification that the residents impacted, which there are 2 of them, agree to the project, and it would be embarrassing would be the least of the things to us if this went forward without that. But if we want to get money for good, worthy projects from the 2040 grant, we need to answer the questions and do what they're looking for and not repeat what we did last year. Now, I would like to see us apply for a grant with a better option of getting. It sounds like multimodal might be a good opportunity. And then there's other money out there, and the township can also look into putting money towards it out of our budget. So we have more than one option, but I think that given the requirements of the grant and given our disaster last year where we did not have the residents say in the submission that they were okay with the sidewalk going over their front yard, it would be foolish for us to have a repeat performance. So I'm against the 2040 grant. I am for other grants, but I think this particular one, we're just not ready for a submission.
Jackie?
Yeah, Jack Renier, 105 Schrank Road. I'm in total support of the sidewalks, okay? I even walk through that neighborhood. I think it's incredibly dangerous. I would love to see us go after a larger walkability grant. I think that makes a lot of sense. I think we have a shot at that. But the objectives of this grant they do not address safety. It's not what they're after. So if we submit that, we will lose the chance to lose this one this year, and we'll likely lose that one, and then we'll be scrambling for more money. And we just it's a totally worthy project. And we can be helpful in finding the grant, and working on that project. I think it would be fabulous if this town will want the whole state. So we're just asking if you look at the 2 projects together, tick it off to the criteria, which is connected communities on a larger scale, sustainable places, and vibrant economy. These are the 3 objectives of that grant. And sidewalk for safety just doesn't do that. And it's going to be very, very low chance of getting the money. So that's all. That's why we are asking you to look at the park project and that against the criteria and say, what's the smartest way to get the funding for both? Because they both need to be done. I think they're both great projects. And I think we can get both of them done. So that's why we're here today.
The park project is really ship a sail because you don't own the property. We don't own it. It belongs to the CVS. So you have to really talk to CVS to see if they will allow to do anything out there. You won't even cut a tree down until you find out for sure. Okay? So that ship is sailed on that right now.
Well, I'm happy you told us that, because I had asked Terry to look into that, because when I did the tax search, I found it at CVS, and we did not know that.
You had found it, yes.
So, yes, we need to know that.
And the manager asked me to verify that, and I was able to do that today. Yes, unfortunately, until something can be done.
So why don't we move forward with something else and try and get, I mean, you knew that?
No,
No.
we had.
I found it on the tax records last week, and I asked Terry to look into it, because
I mean, that was a surprise to me. I thought they owned it.
I thought,
It's
Or
on
we-
our list of parks, so we were I'm just shocked tonight. I'm just
Yes,
shocked.
yes.
How could we not know that we don't own the park we bought? Oh my gosh.
I mean, that was my impression way back when this thing was built, that it was the township's park. And now we find out it's CVS, which surprises me.
Then how can we resolve this like ASAP? For sure. Is it for sure?
I think the boards, I expect they're going to issue me some direction to look into that when we hit that on the agenda. Right now, you have a motion, there's no second.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, so we can't move forward with that.
Well,
I'm all for it, to be honest with you.
yeah, so I guess what I'm asking is, if we got that answer, and we do own the park, and we perhaps get approval from these other people to move forward, then at least we have two potentially viable projects. But are you saying that we can't have the answer who owns this CVS park before we make a decision on which grant application to move forward with?
Well, all indication right now is that CBS owns the park, and that's coming from the county's tax records.
That's for sure. I have all
Well, that's one-
indication.
I'll show you the,
That's right,
readout.
that's what I found on the tax records. We're just asking for verification if there's a deed or something.
Yeah.
We were told that Manning deeded it over. But
I'd have to look into that.
Yeah.
Yes, I was under the impression that it might not have been done. I mean, maybe it was never followed through by the whole board that was here at that time. Yes.
Lou Gantner, Brimley Road. What is the estimated cost to the township for this sidewalk project?
The estimated cost of the entire project is $125,000. So with a 20% match, that would be what, about $24,000 to the township.
$24,000 cost to the township?
If we get a grant, if they get a grant.
Sounds reasonable.
And that can also, that doesn't have to just be cash. It can be some of the engineering costs towards design. It could be volunteer or work done by public works or your contractor.
Thank you.
Sorry, your name again?
Lou Gentner, Gentner.
Linda?
Linda Jansen, Simmons Road. Carol, just a quick question. I think you mentioned in a previous meeting, just a rough estimate of what the cost would be for the sidewalk if it was done on the shorter side. Do you recall that figure?
Yeah, it's under $50,000 on the other side.
It's under 50,000.
That's what I recall of the original estimate. Now, that wasn't finished.
Yeah, I thought you may have said like 47, but it's probably between like 45 to 50,000 as opposed to the 125,000. Okay, thank
It's
you.
much shorter money.
Yeah, it's a lot shorter, and also too, it does not seem like there would be like erosion issues with an embankment, perhaps maybe retaining walls would have to, you know, the other side, that is pretty steep there.
You're correct. The other side does not have the grading challenges.
Right, and then the shorter side, the, say, $45,000 sidewalk, I don't even believe that the pitch or the elevation is as much. It's a much flatter, smoother transition from the existing sidewalk down to the curb line, correct?
The road, you're talking about the slope of the road? It would be pretty much the same on both sides.
Well, okay, thank you.
But you're right, there would be a lot, there wouldn't be a retaining wall necessarily required. And I think it could be graded in there probably without the complication of grading.
Okay, thank you very much.
Any other questions? Yes.
Crystal Gilchrist, 126 Gerloff Road. I'm sad to hear the news about the CVS parcel not being owned by the township. That would have been a fabulous project. That being the case, let me reference the sidewalk project. I think there's a case to be made for the greater good for all the residents of the community as opposed to the desire not to have sidewalks in front of their house by two individual residents. And the case is the entire community contains lots of families, lots of kids, lots of people who not only need to be safe, but also need to connect to other parts parts of the community where they can go to their friends, go to services, go to whatever they're going to on a safe sidewalk. I think it would be the rare property owner who would agree to take on the maintenance of a sidewalk on behalf of the larger community when there are other places in the community that also don't have sidewalks. So I don't think you're going to get those residents to ever say, oh yeah, sure, bring me a sidewalk, I'll shovel it twice a week in the wintertime, no problem. No, those residents are going to say, well, I have a choice, and I can say no. I'm going to say no, because I don't want to be bothered dealing with the sidewalk, either to shovel it regularly, or eventually, if there are repairs to be made, oftentimes the homeowners are charged with some of those repairs as well. So I think the case is, we have a community in need of safer means of pedestrian transportation, and the fact that one or two residents are against it is heavily outweighed by the fact that it provides safety for those who need to use it. I will add this, that when you go for grants, whether it's the MONCO 2040 grant or the multimodal grants, any of those, they are going to look to how this particular piece that you're asking to construct now fits into the larger plan for connections through your community. So we all know that both of the townhouse sections are ridiculously sidewalked. Nothing connects, there are gaps all over the place, places where people need to walk, there are no sidewalks, it's crazy. So at some point, we also need to make a case for whatever grant we're going to apply to, that this one small piece is a first step in trying to figure out a larger plan to fill in many of the other gaps that we have in those communities for sidewalks, paths, safe pedestrian bicycle transportation. So I think, given that the competition between the two grant applications seems to have been split at this point, until we can figure out who owns the CDS parcel, if you're going to go forward with the sidewalk grant, it's really important to make those two cases, in my opinion, that A, it's part of a bigger plan to connect larger areas of the denser village areas, and there's a greater good for the whole community, even though maybe one or two people choose to be against it. I don't think we'll ever get those two people to sign on for the maintenance of those sites.
Well, we agree with you, but the problem is, if we can't prove to the county that those two people approve of it, we won't get the money.
I don't think they necessarily have to approve of it, they have to be informed of it. And if you inform them of it and you make the case that we understand they don't want to have to shovel a sidewalk in front of their house. However, in that particular part of the community, there are X number of children who have to access the school bus. It connects to other parts of the community that are important for people to get to. If you can make those cases, it tips the balance the other direction and says, yeah, for the greater good of the community, we're going to build this sidewalk. I'm really sorry you don't want to have to shovel from time to time, but the greater good is going to carry the day.
At a minimum, we have to inform them, which we haven't done.
Yeah, we're going to do it.
We have, but I'm saying I cannot get a hold of the rental property owner. That's the issue that Pat mentioned.
And particularly a rental property owner